Let the chaos reign. And now, a moment in time again. This is Chaos Reign presents What in the World is Coming to with special guest Dr. Randy Short. This was broadcast December the 16th, 2018. This is one of these classics, so enjoy.
Blog Talk Radio. The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at TalkRealSolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of TalkRealSolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not TalkRealSolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
In the world where there's crime, corruption, violence, rape, death, murder, and also all other form of atrocities, what we see and plague in the world we live in today. What you're witnessing, we are living in a state of chaos, and it will take a greater or much more extreme chaos to restore the order in which the world we live in today. Good evening, black people. This is the Chaos, aka Gary. And tonight, we have the return of one of my good friends, not only on social media, but in general, and a man, an elder that I respect that has been putting work for the community now for, I will say, over 30 years, maybe more. But before I bring him on tonight, I would like everybody to go to TalkRealSolutions.com. There, you'll find a 3-point plan for Black empowerment, Black achievements. And under the 3-point plan, besides the latest news articles that's going on in the world or here in the United States of America, you will see a list of black-owned banks, established black-owned banks that still exist. Hold on a second. Black-owned banks that exist in the United States of America. I believe there might be still 30. I'm not sure. I had to double check. If Tyrone Thompson, if you're there, if you could confirm this, it'd be better. But we could start putting some more money into these black established banks, and practice group economics in that fashion. But there's many ways to practice group economics. But it's always good to support any black establishment that will hold our money as a people. And there's not many here in the United States because we have like 50 states, so 30 still existed. You have to probably Google search, or you can find all the information on the site itself where they're located, and you start putting your money in there. The other announcement. Give me a second. The other announcement I would like to say. I would say before the end of this year, I might bring back some of another guest I had on a month ago, I believe. I'm not sure what the topic will be, but when I find out, I'll let y'all. I might tell y'all soon, but other than that, I'll surprise you before the end of the last Sunday of December. Also, you can find this show on YouTube as well. Talk World Solutions. If you type Talk World Solutions on YouTube with the lion, that's where you find all the shows that's been done on TRS, on Blog Talk, and also on YouTube. So it's streamed like both times. So you're not missing a beat. So anytime you then call in during the regular show, you can still watch and participate on YouTube. Hold on a second. Let me take this. Yeah, as my guest comes shortly. Like I was saying before, it's streamed on YouTube and also on Blog Talk Radio. I think I cover pretty much everything. And another thing, there is also a donation here on Talk World Solutions. If you want to donate as little as $5 to the show, that would be appreciative. I mean, every little penny helps. $1, $2, it keeps the lights running on this show. So don't be a stranger to donate, for a good cause. One second. Let me just do this. I gotta look at the chat room as I begin. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. As I look at this chat room, looks kind of small, so I'm not getting much popularity with the guest tonight, but I don't really care because the information is more important than anything else at the end of the day. But as I wait for my guest to come on, and when you reach there, Dr. Short, press 1. Tonight's subject is titled, What's the World Coming to with Dr. Rainy Short? And the number to call in for tonight's show is 515-605-9783. I repeat, 515-605-9783. All right. Let me go to the board and take a look. Check. 1 second. Oh, and another thing, if anybody didn't catch last week's show, that broadcast you can find right now on YouTube. All right, hold on. All right, as I wait for my guest, he's having a little technical difficulty. In fact, let me check if I send them the message because sometimes 515-605-9783. Yeah. I don't know why it's giving a hard time. All right. I might have to 3-way. potentially. Oh, actually, no. Let me do this. All right, let me try this. I'm gonna try this trick. 212-710. All right, let me see if this will work. Okay, Dr. Ray, sure. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, it worked. Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Welcome again to Talk Real Solution again, Dr. Short. How's everything? And with you, Doctor?
It's good. And if you don't mind, I'm going to see, can tell me a good number. I can let some people on Facebook know that we're having this discussion.
Okay, the call number is 515.
Okay.
605.
Okay, that number. I know that number. Okay. And that's the number that people need to use.
Yeah, and if anybody is having a hard time, they'll hit you back on social media. Am I right?
I don't know, but they might.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, if they can't call in per se, they can catch this on the Blog to Radio on blogtoradio.com, Talk Real Solutions, or they can go watch this on YouTube. Either or, you know.
Let me see. One sec.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead and share. I'm preparing.
Okay. Normally, I would give you the link, but you know what happened. It's like, yeah. I tell you one thing, Facebook is a funny platform. I tell you, you know, it's like they talk about there's free speech, Dr. Short, but people have problems of people others' views, and you know, like I said, you know, hold on a second. You there, Dr. Ray Short? Sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You know, I'm still getting a random text. Love you. I don't know why I still keep sending the same text. Yeah. But let me see why it is. Why is it doing that? Why is my phone doing that? Okay. All right. Well, let's go on with the discussion. We don't have too much time. Most of it. You there? You there, Doctor?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's say, I tell people, one thing I find that we talked about this so-called Pedophile Amnesty Bill, PEDOCARE, which is numbered HR 2282.
Yes.
I'm not sure if this is a thing that you kind of brought to attention, not to me, but everybody that's been following lately of what they're planning to do. I don't know if you want to elaborate.
Well, it's real simple. The existing civil rights bill is the existing bill, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, provides coverage and protection for everybody to prevent discrimination, and there are other laws. But the radical homosexual element wants to provide coverage to trannies and to pedophiles and to other people, and they want to make them like a protected class, like they're actually a minority group. They want the things that are supposed to be protecting blacks, which don't, to be applied to them. And so I repeat, they already have the protections for what they're about based on a bill that black people bled, died, and suffered for. and now they want more. And it's a blank check. What they're looking to do is put all the language for people, for whatever, do whatever you want to. Animals, you like to get peed on, you're a minority. You like to eat bowel movement, you're a minority too. You like having sex, you're a minority. I mean, with children, if you want to have sex with an animal, you're a minority too. You need to be protected. And literally, they're looking to change by changing 59 existing federal laws to accommodate this. I mean, it's so extreme. They want, if I go to trial and I'm gay, there should be at least 2 gay people on the jury. Think about that and understand over the last, say, 9, 10 years, it's no longer illegal for people to have an all-white jury when they're black. Imagine that. See, a lot of people are not understanding where people are going. You keep hearing about these cases of people raping, white men raping people all over the country, and there being no conviction with the evidence and everything, just letting the people go. Because you already have deviant judges and deviant people on juries within the justice system. So if that's happening now, imagine when you make people who have perverted, immoral, degenerate, sexual needs, protected classes. That means, wow, I see you and say gender orientation and my gender identity is I got to grab someone's penis in public. Well, if I grab your penis in public and you hit me, you're going to get in trouble because that's a hate crime. You knew that this is who I am. I was made to grab people's meat in public. Okay, so I need to be protected. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. Well, why were you violent with me? You should have told me to stop, right? I mean, or maybe I'm going to grab the little kid's wiener, or I'm going to grab your wife's boob. And this is my gender identity. And when you hit me in the head, that's just like a policeman beating a black person. Come on, man. These are some freaky, nasty, white, privileged people who just want to do whatever they want to do. They want to make the country go crazy. And I just need to say, for all the black people, even the little stupid gay ones, you can't afford representation. You can't go up against these people at their institutions. So whose children are going to get taken? Who's going to end up spending 20 years in jail because someone grabbed their penis since they can't grow one? They want to take yours. You hit them. It's a hate crime. And you go to jail for 20 years because you don't want someone to grab your meat in public. And that's just the way it is. This is a new way to mass incarcerate any black male or female that doesn't want to be treated in the old kind of way. They're phasing out weed. Now they're going to bring in all the mass incarceration based on, the fact that you don't want nobody putting their finger in your behind when you're on the bus or on the train, right? And then, of course, the jury has some gays on there, so oh, yeah, he did it. I could see him hitting me if I grabbed him. Yep, he's guilty. I mean, just everybody's going to be in jail. It's going to be courtesy of basically fag fascism. That's no other way to call it.
Okay, I see. Hold on a second. Not to make sure.
If you read the bill, they want credit. I want jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get a job because I lick someone's behind. I'm guaranteed a job. Really?
Yeah.
I guaranteed credit. I want credit. If I come in just like Aretha Franklin for a business loan, you better give it to me or else you discriminated. Can you or I dress up like, a fairy or Santa Claus and get taken seriously What the hell is this? You see, hold on. I got to just say, the kicker of this are the degenerate black Democrats in Congress. They're all co-sponsoring this pedophile amnesty bill. PEDOCARE, as I call it. They're nasty. They're never there for us. They never do anything right by us. They never risk anything for us. And they're going to go out almost 100% for this filth?
Yeah. And Dr. Short, if you don't mind, if I should read this to the people, the bill, by the sense by bill, if you don't mind, I will read it to the crowd. Do we know what we're talking about?
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. All right. This is what I got from Dr. Short. And this is from 2017-2018 CBC members. All pedophile amnesty bill co-sponsors have in a. Let me get my reading glasses. All right. And all House co-sponsored according to CRS listed. Senate Bill 1006 co-sponsors. Senator Cory Booker, New Jersey. Kamala Harris, California. House Representative Party, Congressional District. Alan Adams, North Carolina, 12th. Kareem Bass, California, 37th. And those are two Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Joss Beatley, Democrat, Ohio, 3rd. Sanford Bishop, Democrat, Georgia, 2nd. Lisa Blunt, Rochester, Democrat, Delaware at large. Anthony Brown, Democrat, Maryland, the 4th. G.K. Whitfield, Democrat, from North Carolina, the 1st. Andre Carson, Democrat, Indiana, the 7th. That's a big list. I think it's Yvette Clark, Democrat, New York, 9th. William Lacey Clay Jr., a Democrat, Missouri, the 1st. Emmanuel Cleavers, Democrat, Missouri, the 5th. I think those are like districts, right? At the end of the state?
Yeah. You know what? I would just read their names. But if people want to get this list, they can email me. Just remember, only one of them that's Democrat said no, and that's Marsha Fudge from Ohio. All the rest of them want someone to come up and grab your meat in public, and if you do something, you go to jail. This is what these fools sign.
Wow.
Make you wonder. You know, the rumor here in D.C. where I live is that they have orgies and stuff during the Congressional Black Caucus. Maybe it's true, although some of them are so ugly. I can't believe anyone would want to be in an orgy with them. I mean, you wouldn't just need lights off. You'd need blindfold and cotton balls stuck up your nose so you can't smell their bad breath. There needs to be a war against these folks. I'm just telling you, black folks need a Kool-Aid party, a black tea party, go in and yell and scream at these people, be outside their house, disrespect them when they go to eat somewhere, because it's our kids that are going to get grabbed. They're already taking 1 in 9 black children get taken by Child and Family Services across the country, and where they're giving them to gay people anyway so they can rape them, raise them up so they want to be trannies when they're 15. What's going to happen with this? And these little coons went for it. You don't see them do anything that black people need. They spend all their time. In fact, there's a bipartisan criminal justice reform bill that's going to could help people if it got passed. Some of these same niggas that voted to help the pedophiles and the people that have sex with dead bodies, they said no to criminal justice reform. And you got to wonder, what kind of psycho coons are these? And I'm telling you, nothing short of black folk all over acting out on these people. Like if you see them, they say they're a congressperson. You know, you should tell them, y'all suck. Y'all are no good. I mean, a white Klan congressperson is probably better than y'all. Those folks should be feeling so much hatred and hostility from the community. I'm talking about people going up in their offices and sitting in and telling them to resign. I mean, if somebody knows something, like if they know a congressperson has a double life, if folks have videos or pictures or recordings, there should just be a website for people to just unload all the filth to expose why these people are dirty and nasty enough to put their name on this stuff. And at the top of the list is that bald-headed sissy, John Lewis. I mean, you know, just look at him. I mean, he got a little testicle-shaped head and everything. There's something wrong with him. I already know it. Yes.
Yeah. 1 second. Before you continue, Tyrell, if you're there, open your mic, please. I think I'm having issues with my cell phone a little bit. But if you're there, just open your mic. Let's continue. Yeah. Sorry about that. You know, since I gone through this bill pretty quickly yesterday, one thing that caught my attention was this one when it was dealing with after these additional reasons to oppose the Equality Act. I think one thing that I highlight was the EA would prepare the way for reverse discrimination. The more open people who identify as transgender become, the more people who held traditional values will be forced to conceal their views or face punishment for expressing them. Now,
let me give you an example of what they mean, because I've worked in such an environment. Many years ago, I worked for the Schlesinger Library at Harvard, at Radcliffe, okay? And it was basically dyke heaven. I had a colleague named Jeannie Carson. She got married to a man. And because she got married to a man, all the women stopped speaking to her at her job.
Wow.
And it was so strange when I came and told her congratulations for getting married. She broke down crying. I thought I was going to get fired because I thought I said something wrong. Show you how crazy it is. And she said, I'm not crying because you insulted me. You're the only person that said anything nice to me about me getting married. I can't stay here. Or I'll get one better. A young woman came in that I went to school with, and she hugs me. I did not hug her. She hugged me, and she kissed me. There's a little lesbian that looked like Perry Mason named Diane Hamer. And Diane told me to come to her office. And I went to her office, and she said, you know, you're an asshole. Who do you think you are? And I said, excuse me. She said, you sexually assaulted that woman on the elevator.
Wow.
And it says, this is no, I mean, I can call the cops right now. And it says, I'm sorry. It says, but she said, you should have stopped her from touching you. This is your final warning.
What?
Are you understand?
Yeah, I think this is
had she done the barbecue Becky on me, I would have been picked up for sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
With no evidence, no violence, didn't hurt, no. And if you put me in jail for a day, I mean, I'm not the toughest of person. I'm going to have to fight. If you fight someone, you injure them, you get a record, you get a charge for fighting someone in jail. I'd end up in jail the rest of my life, all because this one lady who is black embrace me. And the lesbians didn't like that. I can do better working at that lesbian environment. They didn't like the fact that when the women would come into the library, they would gravitate to me because it's male, friendly, helpful. So you know what they would do? They would put me in the vault in the basement and lock me in there for hours. So the women coming in see me, like Cinderella. I mean, this is real talk, folks. And that was completely normal. You see, the gays don't operate with any morality or fairness. It's all about what they want. It's all about them. You see, those women were afraid that the ladies that came in the library would talk to a man, and they wouldn't be available for them to try to like hit on and get, get some cooch. And in particular, these were white women, and they can't compete with the black dudes in that department. So, black men, you got a big dick. Yeah, I'm going to say it just like that. Women like you, and you get a bunch of lesbians, you're going to get fired, demoted.
Yeah.
Every time you do, you'll be wrong. Let me tell you, when you work in an environment, the women didn't have pictures of their family on their desk, unless it was a woman. Because if it was a man, the women got angry, and they would complain about feeling insulted that they have a coworker that's a slave. It's slavery if you're with the man. It's freedom if you're with the woman. If you don't have a child, you're a freedom fighter because you've killed your baby. If you have one, oh my God, I feel sorry for you. I mean, you could have so much more time to do yoga and to like try artisanal breads, but you're a mother. I hope you're not breastfeeding. Nothing like that's going to bite on me, right? Yeah, you want a woman to bite on your boobs, but you don't want a baby to bite on it for milk.
Yeah.
Everything is the opposite of everything. And let me just share with you, if you read the law, not the summary that you're talking about, when they talk about if you assume something, it's discrimination. So if I see a person that looks like a woman, dressed like a woman, voiced like a woman, and I assume it's female, I could get in trouble for discrimination, which means if I see a nice behind, nice shape, breast, long hair, lipstick, don't assume it's a female. How are you going? So what you already have it in schools? It's called misgendering, where they don't call people boys and girls anymore. And not only that, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if you know, but in a lot of places, you're in Connecticut and Massachusetts, when you work places, if you got a gay supervisor, whatever, or you work in the hospital, folks are expected or invited to gay events all the time, the pride stuff. If you don't go, it's like not going to the company party. It's held against you. So you almost have to become gay to have a job. And God forbid if you're religious, you have a cross on. Ooh, I don't like that. What's this? Well, the only church I like is the Metropolitan Church.
They'll complain. They'll say something. You have a cross on your neck.
Yes, because if you believe in the Bible and Leviticus 18 and 19 and other places that denounce homosexuality, Genesis 18 and 19, Leviticus 18 and 19, and other places. If you're a Christian, you don't like him licking his buddy's butthole. Even if you mind your business, it's not enough. I know if you read the Bible, if you go to church, you've got a halfway decent minister who's going to tell people they can't do those things, then you're taught to hate me. So I therefore hate you.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And so you better not have any beliefs, but you can be a Buddhist, you can be a Hindu, you could be a Muslim, but you better not be, one of those people. And it gets better. Imagine that you can't talk to people. So if you have a boss hitting on you, or if you have coworkers that are same sex and they want to freak each other right there in the job, you better have a smile on your face. You better act like it's cool. And by the way, they're intrusive. They're gonna say, Ivard, you're really surface with us. We don't really know you. We have parties and you don't come. You send over a bottle of wine, but you don't grace us with your presence. And we want to know why. Don't you think that's harassment? So it's like, we basically all going to get together, snort a little cocaine, and then have a sex party, but you never come. It's like you look down on us.
Yeah, man. Serious harassment.
And if you get a straight boss, but their sexuality coon, they're going to say, well, Sharon, you really need to open up. And, translation, part those butt cheeks and let their love come in. I've already experienced this. I'm not boasting. I remember being a student in a class. The teacher or the supervisor was a little black bitch named Chandra. Yeah, I called her a black bitch because what she was doing was being a black bitch. I said it 3 times, so if it's offensive, so what? And we were talking about our careers when we finished grad school, and it says, well, one of the things I'm interested in doing, maybe, is doing family counseling. Because, men and women often don't understand each other. And when I finished, the whole room was quiet. And people were angry. And I'm trying to think, I didn't say anything about anyone. I only mentioned what was my thought. And one guy says, you're such a dick. And I'm thinking, huh? And so he's a black woman. Well, listen to them. Listen to what he's trying to tell you. So in other words, I'm talking about men and women. Didn't say anything about anyone else. I'm not thinking about anyone else. And he says, you're such a dick. You're so insensitive. And I'm tired of this. Right? And I'm like, he's tired of what? I'm so tired of it. I was like, I don't know what he's tired about. And she says, well, listen, you have to be more open. Be open. Open, okay? Be open. And she says, well, I don't know what he's upset about. She says, well, you said you only mentioned male and female families. And I felt rejected. I felt bullied. And I says, well, what other kind of family is it but male and female? And all the gays started yelling and screaming, you're such an asshole. See that? You're not. I mean, this is real. This is actually, I'm in debt for this stupid shit. And they're all screaming. Now, understand, if we have to do a class evaluation as part of a grade, then all the people were mad that I didn't mention 2 dudes screwing or 2 women screwing as a valid family system. Then they're all going to write negative things about me, and I'm going to get a low grade. But mind you, if I criticize them and write that in the evaluation, they're going to hold that against me. It's the only way this can work is the gay way and the highway. And this is going to be structured. It's already in schools and other places, but it will be everywhere with government force behind it. And you'll always be wrong. And it gets better, brother. These sexual identity things also include stuff like transracialism. So a fat, glandular, funky white guy could see himself as a black woman.
Wow.
And you have to accommodate this. And if he were to say, well, you know, I think Taylor Swift is the greatest black diva of all times. And and you'd have to take that, and as a black woman, I have a right to that opinion. I mean, to hell with Aretha Franklin or Dinah Washington or Nancy Wilson, right, or Whitney Houston, right? This is the kind of stuff you're going to have to put up with.
Yeah.
And these coons in Congress and little switch-hitting people in the NAACP, and they all support this garbage.
Mm.
And they're going to keep supporting things bad like this against us until we turn on them, until we start, you know, when someone says they're elected, we don't really give a damn. In fact, I'm going to stay home on your ass. Or we need to vote their asses out. Tell Maxine Waters that wig does look like a James Brown wig. Now that you voted, you co-sponsored this pedophile bill. I wish O'Reilly would cuss you out. We, and it's not like I like O'Reilly, but at least he gave her some hell since y'all bringing this hell to us. Understand something. If they normalize this, once they get the government, if they pass this pedophile amnesty bill, that means laws against pedophilia and all this stuff's going to be overturned and challenged. And they'll be at the Supreme Court every day like, you know, little panhandlers at the McDonald's until they get something. And then a family could be a white dude with a black boy that he got through Child and Family Services and all this other stuff. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're up against. This is what we're, and it's just going to get nastier and filthier and dirtier. And can you imagine? Let's say I'm married, right? I'm married to a little 4-year-old boy, and I want to join the army. So I take the kid has to live in military housing. I mean, it's pathetic. But and I'm being kind of like jocular about it, but it's serious. It's quite serious. It's quite nasty. And I don't know if you heard about the kids in New Zealand where the Asian man and the white guy had this kid, and they were pimping this boy out, having him screw men all over the earth.
Wow.
This is what's going to happen. And it is going to happen to us. And it is going to intensify gentrification. And it is going to cause what little contracts minorities get to be given to them. It is going to hurt, make black people worse off than we've ever been. If you don't understand what making the gay thing supreme, look at what happened to blacks in San Francisco who supported the gay movement, and they've been destroyed. Got the Negroes living in bowel movement and in heroin needles in the streets of San Francisco, and the gays have everything.
Wow.
Black folks were almost 20% of the population of San Francisco. They're now down to 2%. They've been driven out, run out. Harvey Milk, the little pedophile politician that got killed. The people who helped Harvey Milk win, Milk, by the way, Jewish name, blacks supported him. And once the gays got power, they put a dagger in black people's back and probably put some doo-doo on the dagger before they stabbed them in the back.
Yeah. You know how they love
When Stonewall, we're going to celebrate Stonewall 50th anniversary this year. Do the people know, in particular the stupid ass black people who go for everything, that it's black men that fought the police to protect the white gays?
Mm-hmm.
Do the white gays do anything to protect black men? We fight for everybody, and then they always turn on us. The gays want to take the civil rights bill that black people died and suffered for 100 years and effectively stick it up their ass like an energizer battery to make them super powerful to take everything that they haven't already taken in this country.
Yeah. I see. Dr. Short, before you continue, I have one person that raised their hand a couple times. You want to open this line? See if he has a question.
Yeah, just understand if you're pro-pedophilia, if you're for pedophilia, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not taking your question. If you support baby rapists, bone smuggling on babies, I'm not talking. I don't want to talk to you. So just tell all the pedophiles, all the people that for this freaky stuff, I'm not going to be kind to you. I'm not going to respect you because it's not respectable. It's violation of God and human rights and babies. So if you're a pedophile, you know, that person, ask the person to raise their hand, are they a pedophile? Yes or no?
Okay. Yeah, I could do that. Before I open the line, the call number for tonight's show is. Oh, you say something? Sorry.
No questions for pedophiles. I am discriminating. They get us. They come to get us. We have to get our licks in now, Shan.
Yeah, I hear you. Hold on a second. 1 second, people. All right. Okay. The first call I'm gonna open up all once. My ass is speaking.
Hi. Good evening. It's Gigi.
Oh, hello, Gigi. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
You have any questions for Dr. Rain Short tonight, or anything that's on your mind?
Yes, I do.
All right.
You have to ask me if I'm a pedophile or something.
I didn't ask you. We just. I don't want to talk to anyone that's pro-pedophilia. It's just not going to go anywhere. So as long as it's not a pro-pedophilia question, we can do business.
Okay, hi. My name is Gigi. Thank you, Dr. Short, for being here. What kind of doctor are you, sir?
And that's. So I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a social science doctor. I'm a historian, a researcher.
Excellent.
And one thing I'll bring to your attention, there is a film on YouTube called The Children of Table 34. And because one of the things is when people call and they ask whether folks are medical doctors, I'm not saying you're doing that, you will find that the entire medical field, the psychiatric field, the psychology field, all of these people for the better part of 60 years have been running a pseudoscientific scam on the American public. And it's been people who were not in the medical field who were debunking Alfred Kinsey, the man that was having hundreds of children raped and women raped, and calling that scientific data. So most of when people come in and have an opposing view to people saying no to pedophilia, no to all these crazy sex things, have no idea that the basis of their argument for all these changes were made by a man who used to mutilate his own testicles and rape children. And his opinion is for supporting all this craziness. And the medical profession,
can I ask a question now?
Yes,
Wait,
I just want to. The medical profession knows that this stuff is bogus and fraudulent, but they've done nothing about it. So there's more violence against women and children and everybody else. And the medical profession, I just need to emphasize, they're very, very, very top down. And so whether it's Dr. Sims chopping up black women here to make gynecology a so-called study in America, or the Nazi doctors in Germany, the medical people are seldom, how can I say, progressive or forthright or real with the people. And that's why most places all over this country, you've got doctors pushing pills, killing people, poisoning people, but they're getting paid. Please ask your question.
Oh, thank you. I didn't understand something you said earlier. I just needed clarification. So you stated that, I might be wrong, you hate the gays because they hate you, or is that something that somebody said? I don't understand where that came from.
I never said who I hated. I said I hate pedophilia, and I'll keep saying this is before the pedophilia conversation. This was more about the workplace and how if you don't attend certain gay parties, you get ostracized or criticized. So you said, I hate you because you hate me or something to that effect. But it's not about pedophilia, though. If you took that, I'm referring to that experience where the folks were very hateful towards everybody. So you would hate them if they hated you. If someone tried to set you up to put you in jail because somebody touched you, you would. If you love that, that's your issue. I hated that. I still hate it. I have no apologies for hating and resenting someone trying to put me in jail because somebody kissed me. That's insane.
Okay, that's my first question. And then the second one is, are you like a recovering homosexual? Did you have
I'm
that issue?
I'm not a recovering anything. I'm not a recovering anything. And no, I don't hate gay folks. I have buku gay friends. However,
really,
we're honest with each other. This society is allowing honesty. It's not allowing honesty for people. So my best friend coming up, cousin that died from AIDS, who was molested, and I've seen lots of molestation in the black community. There are a lot of people who've been torn up. They don't get help. But the answer is telling someone, well, someone attacked you when you're 4 years old, they violated you, and they say, oh, well, you were born this way. Really? They weren't born that way.
Oh,
and
okay.
To not help them, to not counsel them, to not try to help them repair. So, but that's a different discussion. This isn't about who loves who, ma'am. This is about a war being declared on black people, people using our struggle to grab. And it's very, very important. People like Kinsey, there's a lot of violence against black women, sexual violence in this country. Most black women do not know that Alfred Kinsey and these other folks were not only racist, but they did not like black women were not included in the study on sexuality in American women because black women were not as loose and perverse as the women that they needed for their study.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise. not to be involved in that study.
It's a blessing in disguise in a sense. But if you look at where we are today, I understand that Kinsey and the other people wanted to destroy the family.
You're talking about like Masters and Johnson?
I'm not talking about Masters and Johnson. I didn't mention them. You did. I'm talking about Kinsey.
You said Kinsey and other people, but I didn't know who the other people were.
I'm talking about the Kinsey and crew, Pomeroy,
right.
all these people that work him, and they have worked this country. So there's a lot of violence towards women and children, and it rode in on the Kinsey horse. And we're still using the Kinsey information that's quack, fraudulent science to justify laws that apply to women and children. It's just absolutely disgusting. And now we've got the Congressional Black Caucus and other people talking about just letting all this stuff go. You have to read and understand, in particular, the first line of this bill that says that they want to do all this stuff for sexuality, gender. Okay, they say one thing and then they have a comma, and then for other purposes. And you say, oh, my God, what are the other purposes? Why won't people say? Why won't they say what it is that they want to go for?
Hold on, let me do this, man.
Right.
Why are they hiding what their intention is? What is it that they know the public would not go for? And we contend it's pedophilia and other things that people feel are off limits. But they're going to bring that anyway because there's a whole movement. I think you've heard of it. It's called the Minor Attracted Person Movement. It's everywhere. In Salon Magazine, they're making it. They're no longer calling people pedophile. That's like calling someone a nigger. You call them a minor attracted person to dignify people who want to have sex with children. And this is now the new movement. It's quite incredible. And now and then you'll see LGBTQIAP. The P is for pedophilia. They may have to put the M in there and take P out. But they put it out there, let you know that we're for it, then take it back. I just can't, as a mature person, support pedophilia. Folks are going to do what they want to do, but I'll be one that's against it. If I'm the only person on this call, if everybody else wants to rape the babies, that'll be their problem, not just in this life, but in the afterlife. Because, yes, I believe in a heaven and hell, and I believe people that violate children go to hell, all of them. No exemptions.
Any other questions, Gigi? Because somebody else raised their hand. Gigi? Oh, damn. Right.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Any other questions?
Oh, I thought you muted me. Somebody wanted to know somebody in the chat room wanted to know if this Dr. Short knew Obama.
Wait, before you continue. Gigi.
That was from Howard. Howard. I'm done. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Let me say this. Before we continue, Dr. Short. Let me say this, Dr. Short. Anybody that has comments or questions for Dr. Short, the number to call in is 515-605-9783. I repeat, 515-605-9783. You ask your question there. And I might have to start asking that question, Dr. Short, to everybody that calls in tonight. If you're going to be a smart ass or anything like that, come on, I will entertain you. But like I said, if you're down for the baby rapist, you know where you go. All right, next caller. 413.
Yeah, how you doing? How you doing, Brother Gary? Great show, man. Dr. Short, good to hear your voice also. I agree with you, Gary. There's no need for anyone to be really this Brother G. Hello? How you doing, man? You hear me?
Okay, all right, good. Continue. Yeah, good. Go continue.
Yes, sir. And I agree with you. So anybody, Dr. Short, you might have a few who's going to be atheists. So call in, Brother Howard. Call in, Tyrone. Anyway, let me continue to go forward. Brother Short, Donald Trump, when he took office, tried to reverse or are you familiar with the Lyndon B. Johnson Act, the exemption of church of taxes, 501c3? Are you familiar with that, Dr. Short?
Believe it or not, and that's why I shared with Brother C, we're going to be on topic. For me, I want to talk about this bill. I'm not trying to talk about nothing but this bill.
Okay.
It's not a grab. It's 2282. 2282 is what I'm focused on. That's the issue. That's what's coming at us.
My reason for bringing it up, and I'm not sure with the bill, but I'll go ahead and I'll try to print it up and look at it also, because I know that once you silence the church, isn't that where a lot of us were injured, to not be able to receive more instruction of what was going on in government within our communities because of this bill? That's what I was actually going towards. And it wasn't really trying to target the church, to tear the church down. It's just that how the cleric had the opportunity to keep the commons or the common laws in place to help the people to be more familiar with the language, because that was our best teacher. That's what I was going to question you at. But if you choose not to answer the question, it's okay.
Well, actually, since
let me say that your question pertains to, believe it or not, 2282, but in a different way. What I haven't said about 2282 is that it aims, this pedophile amnesty bill that they're calling the Equality Act, basically aims to remove religious belief or conviction as a justification not to hire pedophiles or other people at your businesses or whatever. There's a thing passed in 1993 called the Religious Liberty Restoration Act. The radical gay community wants to strip out all issues around religion, that they see that as a barrier to their equality in American life. So if you are a pastor, if you don't want to marry two dudes, they believe that you should be punished. If your church won't do it, your church should be punished. You should be fined. If you have a daycare and a man comes up dressed like a woman and wants to work there, you better have real good reason not to hire them, or if they get the protections they want, you will be shut down. You will not have the right to believe as you believe if these folks get this bill through. As far as the 501c3 thing, it is not that people cannot learn about what's going on. In fact, the 501c3 thing is, frankly, it's hypocritical. It's like the marijuana laws in the state of Florida. You know, in Florida, you can have marijuana, and it's in the discretion of the police whether to arrest you or not. So, like the black man that was from Philadelphia that got arrested in Key West because he had some probation hearing or whatever he didn't go to, or a meeting with whatever it was. He didn't see his make a meeting or something. They put him in jail. They were going to send him to Jamaica because he got arrested for marijuana possession in Florida. But yet those same police that arrested him, if they elected not to arrest whites that smoked marijuana, they'd have no criminal record. What I'm saying is the 501c3 thing that tells people or tries to restrict how much electioneering they can do, that's more so applied to black people than to others, because if you remember, Jerry Falwell and the more that whole religious right for all these people, these are very political white churches for the basis of about a third of the support for the Republican Party. I don't see them getting cut off of money. You don't see their churches getting closed down, their preachers arrested, which means that maybe if we use our churches to be political, we will have a problem, not other people. In fact, former President Obama used the IRS to go after religious groups that didn't support LGBTQ, conservative people that didn't support abortion. It depends. So these laws are in place, and it depends on who's in, how they're used. And they're probably laws that you and I don't even know about that are old, that are made maybe 200 years ago, that can be dusted off and used. Let me give you an example, sir. The case down in Charlottesville, where they convicted this guy Fields, the one that ran over all the people on 14th Street in Charlottesville, the way that they went after all those Klansmen and Nazis, they pulled out the Enforcement Act of 1870, 1871, also called the Ku Klux Klan Act. And they used the racial terrorism law passed during the presidency of Grant to lock up and arrest these people. What's interesting is that same law applied to all the blacks being killed by police and others, even Trayvon Martin, and it hasn't been used. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's a law on the books with white racial terrorism and police murder that's old, that's not used. And there are probably things on the books that have rules for churches and other things that probably are not used to suppress people. You know, they can do what they want. But the 501c3 does not prevent people from educating folks. There are a lot of churches that are polling places and places that have meetings for political things. The real question is, what kind of activities are they engaged in? And also, how does the local political system perceive what they do? I hope I answered your question.
I'll go with that for now. Gary, I'll go on mute for now. I'll come back. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Reggie. And before I take the next caller, it's interesting you mentioned that, Dr. Short, because I didn't know about that. They never really talk about after that riot in Charlottesville with the guy that drove the the Dodge and ran over a woman. I know that's what they did.
He ran over a lot of people. He killed the woman.
Oh, at least that's something to learn from. I mean, we learn something new every day. But it's funny that they only use it when it's convenient. When it comes to us,
well, no, we don't use it. No, our black attorneys are lazy. Our black politicians are lazy. They're coons. This should be used. This should be used for Sandra Bland, and if they've got the provisions in that law, means it's not just for individuals. It is to go after corrupt police departments. In case you didn't know that, which means they have not used it, and thousands of blacks have been beaten and killed, and folks simply won't even use the law that's there.
Wow.
It was passed to protect black people, law enforcement, white racial terrorism, and our black lawyers and our NAACP, they won't do it because they're afraid to really get some white folk locked up because they may have to fight. With the white folks, in particular, a lot of those people in Charlottesville, got to give it to them. The Antifa and the LGBTQ, they pulled out that black stuff the same way they want to put this gay language in the Civil Rights Bill that was passed to help us primarily because we're the most abused group in the country. That's real talk. They know how to use our stuff. We have people who refuse to use existing law and policies to protect the lives of black women and children.
I see. All right. Let me open the next caller. The next caller open 302. Your line is okay. May I ask who I'm speaking to?
Hello, Gary. Hello, Dr. Short. This is Antoinette.
Hey, how are you, Poindexter?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself? Randy, I signed your petition, but I have another question that I want to add with this. I want to ask this question along with the petition. Now, they say it's okay for them to touch children, rape children, and whatever else. So isn't that taking the law off the books for rape now?
Excellent question. That's a good question.
The summary that Chan put in was he mentioned that there's room for reverse discrimination. And that's a great question that you asked, because what you'll find, the changes to this law that they're going to put in is going to put women and children at greater risk for various things. For example, this pedophile amnesty bill that I'm calling it it would allow for me to use your locker room. All I have to do is say I'm a woman, and I could be in your locker room, in your dressing room, in your women's groups, and you'd be discriminating against me if you said no. Now, I just say that the decent men that I know believe in giving women their space, their restrooms, their changing rooms, right? Their massage places and so forth for women. I have to question the character of a man that needs to be in the private space of women without women's consent. What kind of character is that? And so to me, if you already have no regard for a woman's sense of safety, her space, her well-being, her sanity, her serenity, if you want to be there, you want to violate all that, it's a short step from physical or sexual violence.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the whole agenda, this whole agenda, is opening up a can of everything being open. That everything is open on the table. Is whatever you want to do, do it. It doesn't matter who you do it to or for whatever reason. Not just the children, which are my passion. But with one difference, people. I mean, you can do it in public, you can do it whatever. Just don't do it. But with one difference. But one difference will the government will be on the side of the person that does whatever they want to do. Except if you do it to a government official.
Well, no, maybe them too, because if you read the law, the government folks are going to be required, in particular if they get federal funding, that they're going to have to be exemplars of this law if it becomes law. So, yep, that's right. You won't have women's restrooms in the government anymore because everybody's going to need to be there. And if I want maternity leave and I'm a dude, I'm going to get maternity leave even though I'm not pregnant.
They give that to men now.
Really? Oh, wow.
No, I'm not talking
about for their wives.
I'm not talking about paternity leave for a man. I'm talking about maternity leave for a woman because I think I'm one.
Okay.
You see, I mean, it like you said, it's a Pandora box. It's bottomless.
Yes.
And what they've done is they've used people who understand that there's abuse and violence and folks who get killed over sexuality, of which I'm 199% against. But they use this as a justification to do something even crazier. You know, that's like you spitting in my face and me shooting you with the shotgun.
Yeah,
I agree. My face shouldn't have been spat in, but shooting a person with a shotgun is so much more severe than what happened. To deal with protecting or whatever the rights of folks, because people, I'm certain there are people that mistreat folks that are gay. I'm certain they do. I also know gay folks mistreat people. People are people.
Yes.
Okay, and there are very kind people who are same-sex attracted. There's some low-down ones. Yeah, you know, we don't have to waste time on this compassion thing because sometimes compassion can be a problem. It's compassion when people aren't really looking. They haven't debated this law. They haven't brought all their information before the American public to demonstrate. You understand the foundation for why they say they need this bill. If you were to read the law, and I'll send it to you if I haven't already, there's gross discrimination. Gays can't get jobs. Gays can't get housing.
Gays can't get loans. Gays can't get credit. Gays are the victims of violence. Gays are there's nowhere that they are benefiting from being in America. This is more or less a summary of that's the preface to this law, that gay people are third-class citizens in America. That's what's more or less written down. Now, I don't know how much other people go around and travel or look, but the Washington, D.C. that I live in, I don't see gay people marginalized with no jobs and no housing and no opportunity and no businesses. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people doing really well. However, I know black people fit the description. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised, my friends, if the language that was used to petition to get the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was simply modified just a little bit by the LGBTQ mafia people, changing the word Negro and putting the word gay in, where they're claiming that they're treated the same way we are. And if that's so, I just don't see it. As a person that grew up desegregating school, I didn't see the gay kids go through, if there were gay kids, whatever. This stuff is insane. Okay? Mm-hmm. I can recall my parents being stopped by the police because the police thought my mother was white. I have never been, and I have been in cars with people who were gay, and they were never stopped for being gay.
Facts.
Are you understanding me? They stop for being black. You stop. So, but they've made this whole thing so suddenly. Black people and all the other minorities have advanced and been fully included in American life. But people who are gay, they haven't gotten anything. They're on an island of poverty and despair, surrounded by a sea of affluence. To quote Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, they're the ones on the secluded island with nothing, and we black people have it all. Really? I mean,
Dr. Short, what I see?
Everybody thinks that they're insane. Go
Dr.
ahead,
Short,
sister.
What I see is almost like giving permission to the homosexual community that they can go out and sexually assault, rape anyone or anything that they want without any retribution.
No, without any punishment, actually, from the system.
Exactly, but that is what they want.
Yes, well, I mean, that's what this bill is going to do. That's what this bill will successfully pass that where that will be the case.
I have an uncle who is deceased, but my uncle got arrested and fined for urinating. Not trying to show anybody his wee-wee, but for urinating. And they busted him. You know, that's against the law to pee in public, even if you don't want people to see you. But I'll tell you something. So my uncle got fined like $100 in the 60s for peeing somewhere. But when they have Gay Pride Week here, I know for a fact that building that Donald Trump bought, it's a Trump hotel, they used to have the parties in Gay Pride Week. These people would have sex in public. In public. I'm not saying other people don't. Then parade around in public with their genitals exposed. I can't do that. I would be put locked up. And they do this in public. So there's a law for me that I better I better be decent when I'm out in public, or I could find myself arrested for indecent exposure. And if they do it by the dozens, it's okay. This is what I'm saying. They're making a caste system, and you know what? The weakest, most disorganized group that will face the brunt of this exploitation will be us.
Yeah.
They'll get us. And all the folk who want to call in and talk about compassion until you've been through what the people in San Francisco have been through, and in Atlanta where folks are being kicked out, driven out, right? This is fascinating to me that folks don't see this.
Indeed. All right, Antoinette. Let me just take this next call. Antoinette, somebody raised their hand. I know you probably have some other questions. Antoinette, you have any other questions? Because I want to take the next caller. Antoinette, you there?
I'm sorry. Thank you for taking my call. I had myself on mute. Thank you.
All right, good. Thank you. All right, next caller. All once. May I ask who I'm speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's JNYC. What's going on?
JNYC. All right. What's up, Jay?
All right. So I got a question for the doctor, right? Well, the street questions. First, would you have a doctor in, doctor?
It's in history. This is the last time I'm going to answer that. No problem with that.
Sorry, I didn't hear that earlier. I'm sorry. Okay. You had said something about that you're going to be able to take maternity leave as a man transitioning as a woman, right? I wanted to know how would that be even if a man has a sex change, he cannot get pregnant or have a baby?
Well, you have to understand, sir, that this whole effort is to fight against what's called binary sexuality. And you're asking on the basis of binary sexuality, and they're against binary sexuality. So if you get the law where the law gets rid of binary sexuality, everything you're asking is irrelevant. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you?
So you're saying that the law will override because you're identified as a woman, but you can't get pregnant because you're still a man. They erase that, or they don't look that, because I mean, not every woman is going to be able to take maternity leave unless she gets pregnant, right?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. So I'm saying not every woman is going to get pregnant and have a baby, so they're not going to take maternity leave. So how does a transgender person able to do that?
Well, you're talking to me as if this thing is fair, and I answered your question, although it's so much bull crap in how this stuff is structured until you don't understand what I just told you, and that's the language they'll use to you. Let me make it plain for you. Binary meaning male and female. These people are against the concept that they're just two sexes. They argue there are lots of sexes. In fact, there are 218 gender expressions of sex. Huh?
Okay, but that's not the question. I'm saying that women that don't get pregnant will not be able to claim maternity leave because they're not having a baby. There's no maternity leave to claim. So how a man, again, whether they labeled under a woman.
Me. I keep
right?
answering your question.
I get to a certain degree if they.
The rules go out the window,
but you just not
sir.
just anybody. Doctor, nobody can just take maternity leave. Like a woman, unless she can say, well, I'm pregnant or I'm having a baby, and then they can claim their maternity leave. A woman that doesn't have babies are not going to claim maternity leave. So I don't understand how a man that will transition as a woman, yes, he's labeled as a woman, whether they put it on a paper, but if the man that turns to a woman cannot have a baby, they can't claim maternity leave. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, because you're trying to treat this like it's rational, and I'm trying to say to you it's insane. How could I can see how they could do it. I'll tell you how. All one has to do, once they get the stuff in for gender expression and sensitivity and all the training, trust me, they'll come up with this, and they'll say that there are people who are trying to have children who or a person who's trying to have a child or thinking about having a child, blah, blah, they'll find some way to get that situation applied to them. And if you don't consider it, you're being sexist or you're being genderist, you're being biased. Until most people can't get their head around this because they haven't been in some of these crazy environments where this is the norm. And you asking the question, you'd get jumped on before someone say, well, he's right. Men can't have babies. But I'll give you an example, sir. It's not maternity leave, but down at the University of North Carolina system, a man wrote in the newspaper that women didn't have penises, and he got fired, lost the scholarship, got run out of school. See, you're thinking fairness, logic, reason. I agree with you, but having dealt with some of the stuff I've dealt with, I get it. And they will get the maternity leave. You better give it to them. And if that person came into work, excuse me?
Who's that? Hello? Somebody said something.
Mute the mic. So my point is, they've got doctors, lawyers, psychiatrists, and others that will be working to help people. And I'm just saying this to you. They will find ways to grab, subvert, and make it fit whatever they want it to, and it'll just be like they want it. Period. Mm-hmm. And the person that says no will be the bigot, will be under attack, will get sued. Look at Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart didn't attack anybody, say he didn't want his son. Okay? He didn't do anything to anybody. He didn't hate nobody. He didn't hurt anybody. And the whole country comes down on him over something he said 10 years ago. Black folks didn't kill Matthew Stewart, but say something. Let someone think you said something. Huh? And they're on your case. Trust me, all that person would have to do is say, I'm a woman, and I wanted to have maternity leave. And Mr. Chaos, he was so insensitive. He's so binary, right? and they put that out on Twitter, and then all the powerful gay folk would come after him and say, just let him have it. I mean, it's bad for us in corporate. Just let him go. Let him have it. Okay? This isn't new for me. McDonald's started doing this in the 80s because I worked in the McDonald's with the black dude getting a sex change, if you can get a sex change. And we were all required to call him by a female name or we would be fired, even with the beard on his face and everything else. And that's 1981, all right? So I know they can come after, they can threaten people. And if you've ever seen if the right person, sleeps, we've already seen this with men and women. If the woman sleeps with the right person at the job, she can come to work at 10 o'clock. You better be there at 6:30. She's coming at 12. Leave at 4. Leave at 4, and nobody say nothing about it. We experience this with men and women, so don't tell me that these folks can't run those games too.
So
I've lived that too. I knew some folks that didn't even have to come to work because they were female.
Right,
and it was
but
everybody
saying, Doc,
was
don't you think that's
normal.
the private? Well, now I'm going to say that it's only in a private arena of work. But don't you think that if there's a lot of people that are not agreeing with these policies or what they're trying to implement, don't you think that people should gather up and I guess speak against this to the point where it goes into the government, and they can take it up with the government? Because I hear a lot of people upset. Gary had another guest that talks about certain things that with the homosexual community or people. And what I see is that a lot of people are upset, but they're not really putting anything in the forefront of the government. you know, to like a fight back. Because I know a lot of Republicans. No, real quick, doctor. A lot of Republicans do not like that. Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
You're making a statement. I want to answer it. We are organizing. And interracially, it's that serious for me. I'm working with some white people. So we are organizing. I do have a letter written that will be signed by organizations across the country, sent to the head of the Congressional Black Caucus and other things. I'm not going to roll it all out. But, yeah, I'm not just talking. So present company not included. We've already begun. I've been calling bishops and other people to go after this bill, to go after different people, to confront people and make them take their names off of it. In fact, y'all up in Connecticut, I need to know if y'all know any black people in Rhode Island. I don't know no black people in Rhode Island. It's their little former mayor of Providence, little gay Jew. His first Cicilline, God, his name is Sissy. Whew, jeez. He's the one that put this thing out. There are people fighting it. One group is called Mass Resistance, and there are others that are organizing all over the country. In fact, many of them are Republican because this bill is almost exclusively sponsored by Democrats.
So you are happy with what Donald Trump did, pulling back right now recently with the bathroom thing, the transgenders being able to use women's bathrooms. You are aware of that, and you are happy with it, with what he just did?
No, I don't want men in the women's restrooms.
No, he pulled back. He pulled back. He pulled back, doctor. That's what I'm saying. He pulled that back.
Everything that he tears down that Obama did around sex and sexuality, I support 9 million %. I'm also glad that Donald Trump at the beginning of the year took the law back, because it used to be if Antoinette was in jail and all I had to do was say, well, I'm a woman, and they would put men, dick and all, in the women's jails. Obama did this. Now, tell me that makes sense.
I've never heard about that. I don't know about that.
Go Google it. Go Google it.
No, you got to talk to people in the prison. Wait, doctor, you need to talk to people in the prison system. I've never heard of that. If you have genitals, you will be put in the men's. Now, what they do is they'll put you in the gay unit.
That was the law. That law was overturned.
Gary, what you was going to say, Gary?
Hold on, Dr. Short. I did hear about that 3 years ago, before his last year's term, before the election. Like, I've been hearing this before 2016 about that. So that's out there. I'm about to find that.
I would like to.
But hold on, JJ. One thing. I got. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Trump got rid of it this year. Trump repealed that.
Right.
Trump repealed.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, this new bill would also put men in prison with women again. And any place that women go, if a man says he's a woman, they'll send him there to a homeless shelter, you name it. So if you and I want to go swimming at a hotel, we can say we're women, go in the women's room, women's area, change up and shower, slab up, watch the shower.
Well,
this
yeah. So that unisex bathroom stuff might be a little different here, but in places outside of this country, that shit is normal.
It is normal, but the problem is, if it is normal.
And I'm not talking about transgender. I'm saying they're a man and a woman. You know what I'm saying? Heterosexual, whatever. Now, if you talk,
do they shower together? Do they shower? Do they use the same shower, brother? Really? Which country? Tell me which countries have men and women showering?
Right off.
Nowhere in the Muslim
Germany,
world.
brother.
I'm gonna just tell you, there's nowhere. And the Germans are dying off because they're all freaks. There's
You think that the Germans are dying off?
You tell me about these freaky countries. You tell me in the Muslim world where you can do that.
Shit,
you tell me in
last
traditional
time I looked,
Africa.
Germany is very full.
Yeah, well, you're talking about Germany. Yeah, the population's dying off. Go Google it. Research this stuff. It's easier to debate me than to find it for yourself.
No, I'm not here to debate, but when you say Google, I'm a person of, listen, hold on. Hold on. I know, because you just said something.
Let me get control. Because these people they're off on a tangent where they're not reproducing. The European populations are not reproducing. Their populations are dropping. That's why they're letting all the foreigners and other people in, because they need somebody that's going to mess with their women and make babies.
Doc, you're right to a certain extent, but I just want to say, you say Google, and for me, I'm a person of experience. So when you say Google, I can't Google. My life is not Google, right? Like, I actually seen things and been to places. So
Google,
that is for the person.
I'm referring specifically to Trump repealing or taking that thing down. I don't have to remember it. I know it happened. I know I followed it. And no disrespect, when we talk to black folks, it's real annoying. It really is. Because they expect you to remember name and statute and thing, and they walk around empty-headed. For me, the way that people truly learn and grow is like what I did in school. I learned they stopped doing it. Now the teachers have to talk real slow and explain everything before you know it, the class is over. Instead, when we went to school, the teacher would tell us the word and let us look it up for ourselves. I would rather someone discount everything that I'm saying, but listen, and then go and check to see if I lied to them. That's far more fun than for me to try to explain it all in this conversation. It takes too much time. In fact, the greatest amount of learning and the best kind of learning is what people do on their own. So what I'm saying to you is true about them overturning this binary sexuality and doing it under the statute of law. And once they do that, every single solitary crazy thing is possible. You can't even get your head around what certain people need because this stuff gets so dark. Like folks who consider having doo-doo put on them as an identity, a sexual orientation, that you like to have doo-doo, or you like to eat doo-doo. Okay?
Well, they doing that.
And that has to be respected on par.
I mean, you got all type of crazy shit that we probably don't see on a regular basis. That does happen already. It's just, I mean, I think that you probably, I don't think it's going to go mainstream.
Oh, yes, it will go mainstream. Porn has gone mainstream. Gay on television has gone mainstream. Oh, yes, it does go mainstream. And that's just my point. And once you put the force of law and you normalize, you mainstream it. In fact, they're teaching kids in places like Massachusetts and California how to put lubrication in their behind so they can have sex with men. That's already mainstream.
Wait, what state and what school?
No, Jay. Enough, Jay.
Massachusetts, California. Child prostitution has been legal for 2 years in California. Just because you don't know, just because it's not put out everywhere, doesn't mean this stuff isn't moving at light speed in this country. And I'm not going to do this show but for so much longer. But the key thing is for you to understand, there's a Pandora box called the Equality Bill that we're calling the Pedophile Amnesty Bill and PEDOCARE. And if it passes, if you get this through, we don't, the country as we know it will not, I mean, it's bad enough. It's going to be so bad until we won't even be able to understand where we are. And black people will be hurt the most. And yet our political leadership that does nothing for us has come behind this almost 100%. And it's a disgrace. And sadly, our people are not being educated or made aware that this is coming. And even to talk to people about what this could entail is gross, to talk about people who eat bowel movement, but it's so mainstream, brother, until all the shingles inoculation commercials that you see on television have less to do with chicken pox than people eating bowel movement who go from New York to London or to the Dominican Republic, India. They eat doo-doo from poor people, and they come back sick. And now shingles inoculations are mainstream, and they won't tell the public. They'll make you think it's chicken pox that they need the shingles inoculations instead of so many people eating doo-doo in foreign countries. That's mainstream.
This is the first time I hear that, brother, and you're making it mainstream right now by telling us, but thank you.
It's awful. And it's not to talk down to anybody, but my God. I mean, so now there are children in Atlanta and in New York, they're getting injected with VD to prevent getting VD because other people do this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
And
Dr. Rainshore.
There's much more. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We got about 15 minutes.
Before we go into overtime, if you want to hear the remainder of this show, call in now. The number is 515-605-9783. I repeat, 515.
Brother Stan, I'm signing out at 15, so they don't have to go over. If they got any more questions, we can do another one of these. I'm open to it.
Yeah, I just see the line. I see the line of the. I got people, a bunch of people raising their hands now. That's why I try to cut it short with Jay, because I saw them just raise their hands. So let me just go through these lines thoroughly. All right, I'm open 2 lines, but the first line open all once. May I ask who's speaking?
Yeah, this is the nobody. Golly.
All right, this is nobody? This is nobody?
Yeah.
This is nobody? Share 1 second. Let me open the next line. Okay. Next line open up all once. May I ask who I'm speaking to? All once. All ones, going once. All ones, going twice. All right, you're just listening. I'll put you back on hold. And 302. May I ask who I'm speaking to?
Gary, this is Antoinette again, but Dr. Short, I have a question.
No, Antoinette.
Well, it's not from me. Gary, let him decide, please, if you want this call. This call is from Kim Weston, and it's to Randy Short. Dr. Short, would you answer Ms. Kim's question?
Yeah, she could wait. I've been waiting.
Yeah, no, Antoinette, matter of this I'm going to do because y'all not really respecting the line. All right, what's on your mind, Sister Nobody?
Yeah, I wanted to say to the doctor, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And you sound as if you have made your European slave masters very happy, because not only has he always practiced standing on the threshold and preventing humans from being humans?
You're making a statement.
Like
What's your question?
Well.
What's your question, please?
Oh, you want my question? My question to you is, what you're speaking about, because obviously you're in your Western mind, but if you come out of your Western mind, throughout human history.
Your question, please.
Human history.
Your question.
Don't cut me
your
off.
Question,
you just went on the ramble. Don't cut me off.
I want a question, not a lecture, a question.
I'm trying to get to my question.
It's taking too long.
Hey, Tyrone.
Ask the question.
Tyrone, the rule says nobody's supposed to interrupt the lines on the show. Do not do that, nobody. You know the rules on TRS already. When I do my shows, I run this line. Do not do that, please. All right.
You're full of shit.
Line. All right. All once. May I ask who this is?
Big J here. Big J here. I have a question, a nagging question. So, Dr. Short, now, how can you support Donald Trump when he support a homosexual and Milo monopolist? How's that supposed to work?
Who says I support Milo, and who says I support Trump when he's wrong? I said I support him repealing the agenda laws. You can conflate that if you'd like, looking for contradiction, and you're wasting your and my time. I don't like Milo. I don't like anybody like that in particular prostitutes black men. So that's plain and simple. And my question, or I should say, for all the people who are so busy hating the repeal of these laws.
You sound gay, doctor.
Sure, well, fine. Whatever you want to call yourself, or whatever you want to call, fine. And you know what? It takes 10 to know 1. You sound gay to me. You sound gay to me.
Okay, but sir,
I bet you I'll kick you.
I'm not the one who.
You sound gay to me. It's wonderful. You sound gay
I'll
to me.
kick you.
But sir, I'm not the one.
I'll kick your ass, doc.
Yeah. Notice what you use. Look at the words that you use. How are you talking about that other than you're thinking about that? That's what's inside of you. It says from the wealth of the mouth, the heart, the mouth speaks in the scripture. You're like that. And you've come on here to act like you're tough to fight for the agenda. Why are you fighting for the agenda?
Sir.
And if I was the biggest LGBTQ in the world, which I'm not, I've done everybody a favor to warn them about what my friends want to do. And if that person was supposedly straight, they should be taking all this.
Another classic in the bag. I hope you enjoyed this old classic from Chaos Reign channel / podcast. Well, thank you. But otherwise, please comment, subscribe, and like this video. You can now follow me on Facebook, Eric Reign, and on Twitter at Chaos Reign 7. Until next time, let the chaos reign.